7:42 a.m., July 8th, year 2024. I have raced, sprinting, grabbing my stomach in pain, crying out, ah, like all of it, okay? Raced to the toilet 2 times in half an hour. I'm being just plumbered with chemical fumes, which the NATO summit group of white European neo-Nazi heads of state who are gathering down the street 6 blocks from this terrorist cell on Tuesday, July 9th, year 2024. These heads of state will use these chemical fumes on all of you. Black and brown people can guarantee that. And any white people who stand with the black and brown, you can guarantee that it will be used on you too, just like me. And I can guarantee all of you that you won't be grabbing your stomach in pain and going pee-poo like I do. Now, what I've witnessed these chemical fumes do to other people who I knew because I witnessed it were in this house, I can't talk about it online. But I know I'm different than them, and I've verified that. I go pee-poo, but not everybody does that. And then after, all I can say on the internet is after the gases are used, you smell dead bodies and it's really fucking nasty. So enjoy your coffee this morning, lovely Americans. Enjoy this as part of your American culture now. This is American culture to have your teenagers, your preteens, your kids listening to reports and daily updates from a barbaric, cannibal-ridden terrorist cell where they practice cannibalism. And then you want to say your kid has the problem. Your kid has some mental health problems. You want to say the Instagram is the problem. Not the CEOs or any of these neo-Nazis and these Sharia law Saudi Arabian terrorists who run all your media, own it, and think they can buy the military here. They think they can buy the US and Western militaries with their money for fossil fuels. Hold on, I gotta plug my ears in DC. Nothing has ended or changed here. Let's plug our ears. So these tycoons, the white trash ones in Texas who have oil money, and these Satan worshiping is verified and proven. They practice Satanism in Saudi Arabia. They believe with their drug smuggling income from drug smuggling and their fossil fuel income that they can buy off militaries, buy off politicians. So they have bought off all these NATO guys coming 6 blocks down the street from this terrorist cell. This is an ISIS, Iranian-backed terror compound. They're convinced of it, and they're going to use all these chemical fumes on all of you sitting there. And since this is your culture, while you're sitting there in your house, you know, thinking, what will I go get today? What will I go shop for? Let me go buy something. Me. I don't care about anyone but me. So while you're doing that, your self-interest, your self-serving life that you live, while you're doing that, and this has become part of your culture, to have just human organ harvesting. Do you know what organ harvesting is? Has anybody in this country looked it up while they're flying on an airplane before they become belligerent and make the newspaper? Like, you read this 5 times a day. Another American lost their mind on an airplane, commercial jet. This is just culture. So your kids now for 7 years, your American children, your swine jackal little larvae is what they are now accustomed to small aircraft just always crashing from the sky. And nobody wonders why. Nobody asks any federal agencies why that is. Nobody asks questions. Why? Just out of nowhere, starting 7 years ago precisely, all the small aircraft just crash out of the sky all the time with really, really prominent people on them ever since it started happening. And none of your school teachers or your professors in college suggest to research this. No, because your colleges go with all your little larva jackal American swine, your little colleges and all your little college escorts there that get supported by rich old men that do these old guys. You've turned your daughters into whores of Babylon, Americans. You're good with that. You're good with that. So, all right, it's not going to work out for you. You'll never develop any new science. You can go ahead and build those skyscrapers as far as you think you can possibly build them, but you'll never really go anywhere new. You'll never make any new discoveries. Your entire civilization is going to crumble and crash. I welcome the entire Western Hemisphere heads of state to come 6 blocks down the street. And I welcome them to keep poisoning me and giving me gases. Just keep giving me gases so I cry in pain and go pee-poo and go pee-poo and go pee-poo, 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 back and forth, back and forth. And this is the intelligence level of these heads of state. Did it work this time? Did it work yet? No, but it will work on your other targets, your white people who oppose you for ethnically cleansing black and brown. It will work on all them heads of state. Definitely does still work on them. But I don't know why it doesn't work on me, but don't try to research that. Just have your fucking, your law enforcement in DC and your law enforcement across the US, have them arrest me for talking about it. Come arrest me. I'm 6 blocks down the street from all of you tomorrow in NATO, NATO, NATO. I told the world what NATO was all about. Now they're just giving me my food on a silver plate. Thank you, NATO leaders. You're not leaders. You are not building nations. You are destroying your Western Hemisphere. There'll be nothing left of your entire civilization. All your mothers in Italy refuse to cook for their children. They tell their kids, just like the American jackal horse, that they're discriminating them at home. It's against their liberation to cook breakfast. There is no mama cooking spaghetti, thanks to all you world leaders in Europe. You have destroyed Italy. Once mama in Italy stopped cooking spaghetti, it was fucking finished there. Now all they care about is the Russian mob taking over their Milan fashion industry and how much money they can make and how the mom can be a whore, not do anything for her kids. I suggest she crosses her legs and stops reproducing. Stop reproducing. It's a big problem. What you're doing is making more little jackal larvae like you see in America, running around listening to daily updates of cannibalism, organ harvesting, dead body stenches. What else do your kids listen to on this account? But you're good with that because after 7 years, with planes crashing out of the sky, small aircraft, people becoming belligerent on commercial aircraft, and a terror cell for 5 of the 7 years just reporting and updating the most barbaric violence. And what else? Your lovely local cop always arresting the woman reporting it. How many times have I been arrested on Instagram? Has anyone kept counting? It's multiple. But don't forget, this is part of the American culture. So when NATO, NATO, comes 6 blocks down the street, let them prove to me as I'm crying in pain, racing back and forth to pee-poo, 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 go back and pee-poo. Prove to me your nation building. You're not. You've destroyed your Western civilization. Mama in Italy is not even cooking for her children anymore. Your Pope, your Vatican Pope, talks about masturbating himself and he's in his 80s. And you're still passing that off as a religion. Watch what happens to the Vatican. Just watch. Whatever one of these heads of state might get to see that. Just watch. It was deserved. You can't keep doing that, Vatican, Archdiocese, joining up in world wars. World War II left a mark on you, and if you did it again, there were consequences for it. And you know what you did, Archdiocese? You went and did it again. You signed right up with the same Hitler, Nazi creeps out of Europe. And all these creeps think they're coming here 6 blocks down the street. Let me close with this on my 10-minute, because I got to do under 14 minutes here. Last night, the biggest took place under my floor. My heart stopped. It was one of those chemical stenches, in quotes, that was defused. I told you when I say I can't talk about these chemical stenches, that's why, because I'm not defusing those. I do not have that kind of pedigree to walk up to a chemical stench and defuse it, and I've witnessed it. That thing should have been about 5,000 times bigger than what I witnessed last night. And it was towards the corner end of my bed. I was in my chair. I wrote it down in plain English. You can read what I witnessed. It was about 11:45 p.m. at night. And it cracked the floor. There's definitely damage. And yeah, wood, splintered wood, all of it. But it didn't go off. So it was definitely diffused. I have So just with that synopsis, summary of what I just described and what I wrote in written English about this chemical stench that went off in my room, my bedroom, under my bed, where I said these chemical stenches buzz and they beep. Anyways, with that synopsis that I just verbally spoke and what you can read if you like to on the internet, imagine what I could tell you in real life. But I'm going to pass that up right now because I want to keep it under 14 minutes. I want to welcome all the NATO, NATO world leaders. You're not world leaders. You've destroyed Mama in Italy. Now, Mama in Italy refuses to cook spaghetti for her kids. Come on to America, because America's the one that taught them all this. To be liberté in your house. Tell your kid to go make a smoothie. You're insulting her. She doesn't cook for you. She's liberté. Watch what happens to Italy and watch what happens to the Vatican. I bring your little, your woman head of state. I'm laughing. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, ha, ha. All right, but as far as the pain and suffering I'm going through and these chemical stenches that are being diffused and erupting in my house, the shit is still going on. So if I'm off the internet tomorrow, do remember that this is still going on. 6 blocks away, I could take a lovely walk and see all these lovely heads of state from NATO. I am that close to these creeps. All right, goodbye.